Hey guys, welcome back to STA Farms. So on today's episode, we are getting our garden in the ground. So let's get to digging.
And I'm just making the hills to put our plants in. As you've seen how I've done two passes here, this here's the middle. So that means we can till right here and then till on that side as well. That's just kind of how we lay it off.
I'm gonna start the roll off right here next to our cabbage plant with some, it's zucchini squash. We was able to get this one container here and it's got about 3 sprouts in it. So I'm gonna plant 3 heels of this. And then I will go on and do some yellow squash. I wish we could have got the garden in the ground 2 weeks ago, but the way the weather has been and everything else, I'm just grateful we're getting it now. And with these already being sprouts, hopefully it doesn't take too long for them to produce. Now my next couple of heels, I think I'm going to do 2 heels of the yellow squash. Then I'm going to skip 2 heels because with us planting the seeds, I can come back and plant more in another week or so. That way the fruit is staggered throughout the summer and it's not all coming in at one time. So we're going to do 2 seeds per heel, and that's just to guarantee, you know, kind of more of a guarantee that something comes up. And then we can always weed it out later on after it gets up and it looks to be crowded. You don't want to pack your seeds down because you don't want the ground too hard. Make it easier for them to come up if it's just barely left over the top. So I'm going to put these back in the pack and we're going to skip a few heels, and then I'm going to plant some sweet peppers that we picked up. All right, so I picked up some sweet peppers. It's Yellow Wonder. I'm not familiar with it, but they're sweet peppers. And my thinking on this is I want to try to do some salsa this summer. So I definitely want some peppers, and then I can pick up onions later on to add to it. But I wish we could have found some bell peppers. I still may kind of look at different places for some bell peppers. But with the bell peppers, I can always slice them up and go ahead and put them in the freezer, and then we can add them to whatever we want throughout the winter. These, you can tell they're kind of root bound, so I'm just going to try to break it apart some, get them loosened up and put in here and build it back up around it. All right. So on one of our other videos, Aaron talked about our secret weapon for our garden, which was the donkey manure. So we've already got some of that worked in on here, and we'll be working some more of it in as we till the rest of the garden up. We've got plenty. We can always bring it back and add to any plant that we feel needs more fertilize. One year I remember we had a rabbit and we used that fertilizer for some garden. It worked good too. Well, have a seat, Biscuit. Might be able to finish this row out with carrots or beet. I've never done beets before. I know Aaron and his mom has, so he's going to be the one that knows more about that than I do. We tried carrots a couple of years ago when we had the raised beds, and They actually did good as far as coming up, but our problem with them then is our ground was so hard they didn't go down very deep, and I didn't get them thinned out good enough, so they were really short and plump, I guess you could say. So Aaron's making me a trench that we can sprinkle our carrot seeds in. I'm going to let him do that.
All right, so we've got the trench dug here, or the row for these carrots. As you've seen, we've got this kind of built up, and the idea is that because these carrots obviously root down, so we built it up so they could grow easier down into the ground. You gonna help?
Papa, dig a hole right there.
Oh, thank you. We'll use that. All right, so these carrot seeds are super small, so you're just gonna have to spread these out and then cover them up and then weed them out after they come up. Now you can get carrot seed tape where the carrots are already on tape, but we just got the seeds.
Papa, I want to do it.
Okay, hold your hand up.
Papa, I want to put them out.
Okay, hold your hand up. All right, now spread them out in here.
Sprinkle them out.
Good job.
All right.
Good job. Now look, we gotta build this back up. See how you've got our thing here? Let's do like this.
Make a trench in it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Kind of spread it down.
Daddy, take this off.
So they're going to be super concentrated in this area.
So what I'll just do like this to help spread them out, and we'll go to about here,
and
then we'll just cover them up like this.
Bobby.
Right.
Bobby.
And
we'll finish this out with some beets, and then we'll put beets over here as well.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to finish out this row here with beets. These are colorful beets. They're apparently different colors. So,
Bobby.
what?
I want to put them out.
Okay.
Pick them, pinch them.
I
Hey.
want some in my hand.
Well, that's what. Okay, here.
See this right here?
There you go. Now look, do them like this.
Sprinkle them out.
Put them in here in this ditch. Yeah, right here in this ditch. Good job.
Good job.
The bugs are all around me.
They are. Them locusts are.
And that.
Now we'll cover them up, and we'll see if they come up.
Great. So that has that row finished out.
Yeah.
My next row, we are
Mama,
going
let's
to
have
end
some
up putting some cucumbers in, and then we'll go over and do a couple of rows of tomatoes, and we'll finish out with corn and green beans, and then some watermelon. All right, so we kind of had a change of plans. We're actually going to go ahead and add a row of corn in here. I want to make sure that we have plenty of room for the cucumbers or the pickles to spread out. So we're going to go ahead and put some corn right through here. I've got some Honey Select sweet corn. What we're going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to drop them sporadically through here in a row. And then Aaron's going to come back with our green beans. And they call this sister plants. They grow well together. The green beans will grow up the corn stalk as it's growing. So it'll be easier to manage. And I dropped the seed there. But just kind of, you want them spaced out every few inches.
Okay. Everywhere there's a corn, put a bean seed. Okay. Put a bean seed right there. Okay. Okay, thank you. All right, put a bean everywhere there's a corn seed, okay? Just one.
All right, so our cucumber seed is this. It is pickling cucumbers. So the boy loves his dill pickles and sweet pickles, so I want to make sure that I can get him some canned up, and we have plenty. So I'm going to come down to the far end and start on this. So what I'm doing is I'm dropping about 2 seed per heel. Just using my finger to kind of make a spot to put them in. And then I'm just raking the dirt back over top of it. So I'm going to finish out this row, and then we'll come back and finish out the beets.
Okay guys, so Brian's got the cucumbers here done. Now I'm going to finish out this quarter row here with beets, the same type of beets we planted in the first row. And with beets, if you give them some space, they'll grow bigger. If you put more in here, obviously they don't grow near as big, or at least that's been my experience with beets. So I'm kind of giving them a little bit of space. We like small beets, but we also like bigger beets to cut up and whenever we can. It's just honestly easier to work with than a bunch of small beets. So that's got that. I think that'll probably be all the beets that we'll need this year. So we're going to seal these seeds back up, and then I'll go over it with the hoe and cover it up.
Okay, so my tomatoes, I got 2 different kinds, and I got, 2 6-packs of each kind. The first kind I got was a super steak, and I think it's supposed to be good for sandwiches, but it'd also be good for canning. So I'm gonna get these put in just a second. And my other kind was, these are big boys. And I know I am familiar with these, and they will be good for canning as well. So I got 2 6-packs of them also. Aaron has already came through and made heels for me. So I'm just going to come back along and...
Right here's your first one.
Huh?
Right here's your first one.
Oh, skip one before I do it. No, good thing he's out here to help me. And again, these are root bound as well because it's later in the year. All right, and I'm just going to finish the roll out with these, and then I'll start on the big boys.
Okay guys, so now we're going to be planting watermelon. We actually don't have any cantaloupe seed. We're going to get some, but we've already got the hills made for that. So we're going to plant about half a row here of watermelon. Now, these are yellow watermelon seed that we've got. So Brain's made the hole for me. And now I'm just going to drop the seed in here and then cover her up.
So in our first row, we've got the 1 thing of cabbage. I've got about 3 heels of the zucchini squash. I've got a couple of heels of the yellow zucchini, and then I left a couple of heels blank to come back and do some more yellow zucchini. We've got sweet peppers, we've got some carrots, and some beets in the first row. In our second row, we've got some beets and some corn and beans planted. After we had the corn and the beans in 1 row, we had a row of cucumbers, pickles, and some beets. Casey got a hold of the hole up here, and we don't know if the beets will survive or not. And then moving on over, we have the tomatoes and their beefsteak and big boys. And I ended up having to put 2 plants in the same row with the watermelon. So we've got 2 tomato plants, and then we've got this row of watermelon. And then we're gonna hold off for a while, and we'll come back in a couple of weeks, another week or so, and we'll plant some more corn and green beans. And we'll probably do the same thing in another 2 weeks so that the harvest is kind of staggered and it's not all coming in at the same time. There is one last thing I want to do before we finish up with the netting going around here. And I've got some flowers that I'm going to plant on the very edge of the garden. So I'm going to get the tiller going, get the flowers planted, and Aaron's going to go ahead and work on the netting for us. So we've got the fence up around the garden. It is our electric chicken netting. However, we're not going to plug it in unless it comes down to it. I think it's going to be enough to keep any chickens and other critters out. we do want to come back in the upper corners up here and put some more posts in just to hold the corners up a little bit better. And I did get the last row tilled, but I've not planted my flowers yet. All right, so my flowers I've got some sunflowers and then zinnias. This is like an old timer's favorite just to plant in your garden. It's supposed to help keep pests away, I think. And then I don't know if I'll plant these in this garden or if I'll save it because we've got a flower bed over here we're wanting to redo, and I wanted some perennial mix in it, so I may just save these for that spot, but it's just wildflowers for bees and butterflies. But right now I am going to go ahead and do the sunflowers and the zinnias. Starting out with the sunflowers, so I'm just going to sprinkle them through here, and then I'll come back and spread the dirt over the top. All right. And then the zinnia is called a fruit smoothie mixed colors. I think I'm going to hold off on the wildflower mix until we get that other bed cleaned out. All right, and I think that'll do it. All right. So normally we would probably come back now with water hose or buckets of water to water the garden. But if you look at this dirt, you can still see moisture in it. We had some good rain last week. We're actually expecting rain to move in this evening and rain tomorrow as well, and maybe some the next day. So we're gonna hold off on putting any water on it at the moment. But now it's just a waiting game, and we wait until things start growing and hopefully they start producing soon. So guys, we wanna thank you for following along while we planted our garden. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to us, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye. I think we have a new cameraman. Oh no!